Hi, Brian Stecker here from Boomer Fitness, and today I wanted to talk about the brand new James Bond movie that was just released here this week, and I want to give my perspective on how Daniel Craig got ready for this James Bond film. But before we hop into this video, hit that subscribe button so that way you can get up to date with all the great content that I bring out specifically for you. And then also make sure that you click that little bell next to it so you can get updated with all the great content that we put out on this channel and notified for that. All right. And who am I? I'm Brian Stecker. I'm a 20-year Air Force veteran, also been a personal trainer here for the past 16 years and have a gym here in Vancouver, Washington, where we transform the lives of clients over 40, 50, and 60 in the name of Boomer Fitness. All right, so let's hop into today's topic. I am a big fan of the James Bond films. This last series with Daniel Craig is absolutely one of my favorites. And being a personal trainer, I have a lot of respect for actors that undergo a physical transformation. And Daniel Craig's transformation has been one of those transformations that really has been inspiring to me in wanting me to really understand how he went about his transformation. And the more I went through his transformation and getting ready for the Bond film, it made me want to make this video for you because when he started this, I believe he started around age 42 and 43 when he did his first movie, Casino Royale. And now he's in his early 50s and looks absolutely great for his age. And when going through his training protocol, his nutrition, and how he got there, I thought there were some great lessons in there that we could learn as men over 40 in our 50s, moving to our 60s, that we could apply to our own lives and how Daniel Craig got ready for this James Bond.
It's a waste of good scotch.
All right, with that being said, let's start with the first thing. What his trainer's approach is when they went about doing the film, they had looked at their time frame that they were going to prep for this film, the time preparation. So they gave themselves a year to make this transformation. And when I look at some of my own successful clients here at Boomer Fitness, is that, we all want to have that result overnight. We have to realize that we didn't have the current body that we have by getting there overnight. So we didn't gain the weight overnight or get out of shape overnight. It took time. So they gave themselves plenty of time to prep themselves to get ready for this movie. And then they gave themselves that process of their workouts to get there. If I were a client training you, and what I do with clients here at Boomer Fitness is we do approach that. We approach that as our most successful clients, it takes them a year to 6 months to make that transformation that they want to make. Give yourself that time so that way you can put some of those habits in place so that way you're not burning out from the training. You're not doing crash dieting. A lot of my clients that we shared their testimonials on this channel, they don't end up gaining all that weight back. So give yourself that time so that way you can build the habits and that way you can make this into a sustainable lifestyle. The second thing is when his trainer was going over how that someone asked him in an interview, how did he make that aesthetic change? And his thought was, which I actually thought was absolutely brilliant, was that they weren't so much focused on the look. The look was the byproduct of the process of the goals Daniel Craig was training for. So Daniel Craig did a lot of the scenes and he needed to be athletic. He needed to run. He needed to move. He didn't need to be, i.e. like a bodybuilder, couldn't do these things. So the training that he did was set up in a way to facilitate what he had to do in the movie. And by doing that type of training, he was then to get that aesthetic look. And that principle applies true. We can't control the scale. We can't control the way we look. We can control the process. And when it comes to boomers, people that I meet, and I know people in their 40s aren't boomers, but I meet a lot of people in their 40s and people in their 50s and 60s. they're not so much that, yeah, they want to lose the weight, but they want to feel better. They want to move better. And the reason why is so they can have a more functional lifestyle to do the things that they love to do and have the energy to do those things. So when we look at Danie Craig's training, he was more focused on functional movements. And as you get older as a boomer, it's important to be able to do those functional movements so you can have quality of life. So when you looked at his training, he had some total body routines that he did. And those full body routines consisted of functional movements. They consisted of, the big five, the big compound movements. One thing for those compound movements, they work many muscle groups to activate the most muscle because you're working multiple muscles in the exercise. So, they're working on the squat, they're working on pull-ups, they're working on incline bench presses, lunges, shoulder presses. So those exercises are functional movements, which allow you to use the most muscle groups, but also translate over to the stunts that he was able to do. He was able to do those pull him up stuff. And then at the end of his training regimen, he would do sprinting routine.
Nothing left to say.
So looking at what he did there, you could apply that principle to yourself. And if you're just starting out, start out mastering those key movements. The push, the press, the pull, the lunge, the squat, the rotational exercises, and the running. So learn at mastering those with your body weight to start with and working in those 12 to 15 rep ranges. And then as you start to move better in those movements, then you can progress those into dumbbells, barbells, and progress from there. And that goes back to what we originally talked about, is giving yourself enough time to get there, to make that prep. So it may take you 8 weeks of mastering those body weight movements, which led into the next point, which the next goal. Not only did he need to be functional for this movie, but Danie Craig had to do on a daily basis on a set. So he was working, on these sets 10 to 12 hours a day. And if you're doing a training regimen that is really high demanding and like a lot of training regimens out there that say, hey, I got to make this transformation to get that look, it could lead to burnout. And what Danie Craig needed in that film is he needed to have high energy to perform some amazing scenes in the film. So giving yourself that time and have a smart exercise approach where you're doing 2 full body routines a week or a 3rd full body routine a week and then doing smaller muscle groups on the other day allows you to have that time for the recovery. So they looked at the health aspect of it also. And as we begin to age, you have to take that recovery more into it. So that would be the training regimen of Danie Craig, and then how you would approach it as a boomer or a male over the age of 50. Is just progress where you are with those key lifts, working those 12 to 15 repetitions, and then working your way to more progressed exercise, the barbells and dumbbells, and bringing those rep cycles down as you progress, and keeping your training sessions 45 minutes to 60 minutes. Next thing you want to look at is you want to look at nutrition. A lot of things to love about this program. But this was another thing that I really loved about it, and I preach a lot to my clients, is it's counterintuitive, right? Because the first thing that we think to ourselves is like, okay, if I want to lose weight, calories in, calories out. And his trainer looked at it, the aspect of it wasn't so much of a restrictive diet or a crash diet, because again, they needed to recover from these training sessions and they needed to have energy to perform these scenes in the movie. So how that applies to you is look at your calories as being one of eating more toward your maintenance calories, right? So if you're burning 2,000 calories a day, what a lot of people think is like, I need to be in a caloric deficit. Well, eating up to your BMR per day, like say if it's 2,000 calories, eating up to 2,000 calories a day, and then you're getting your calorie burn from your activity. So if you're lifting weights and doing the running, similar to what Danie Craig was doing with his coach, he's creating that calorie deficit plus what he's doing on set. So your calorie intake's a little bit higher to support your training and daily activity needs. So that's another thing that you can do for yourself. Bring up your overall calories to your maintenance level or slightly above that. Second thing that I love that we preach to our clients here that they did is nothing was off the table. No such thing as good foods or bad foods. There's just more nutrient-dense foods or more calorie-dense foods. And looking at the way they approach that, it's nothing was off the table. Meaning, the first thing you think of is, I can't have it, I can't have it, I can't have it, I can't have it. It's like saying, don't think of the purple pig, don't think of the purple pig. what's the first thing that you think of? You think of the purple pig. And if you're telling yourself, hey, I can't have that, you end up wanting that anyway. So putting yourself in a situation where you're focused on high quality whole foods, and that's what they did. And it looks like with the amount of training that Danie Craig did, is he was taking in about 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per body weight from a whole source. And then the other thing, he was eating more plant-based, more anti-inflammatory, so he could recover from that. So he did still have carbohydrates from, sweet potatoes, brown rice, more plant-based, a lot of vegetables. And then the fats, 20% of his diets came from those healthy fats. So look at this for your own nutritional regimen is like, get those calories up and then pick single ingredient foods that are going to give you the most bang for your buck in the sense of one, of the nutrients they give you, meaning you eat a chicken breast, it's going to be full of protein, it's going to keep you full, it's going to help your muscles recover from those workouts. And then the carbohydrates, they're going to give you energy so you can train. Danie Craig, it allowed him to have the energy to perform on set. And then the other thing, those healthy fats, satiety, hormone levels. Look at eating more high quality, nutrient dense foods, whole foods. And you know what? If you have a day or a meal where you're craving something, you have it. It's that 90% rule. Like, no one does anything 100%. I've never had a client do anything 100% because 100% is not realistic. But if you're following it 90% of the time, you're still going to make a quality transformation. So the other thing they had to look at is that recovery, and they had to look at health. So taking in quality nutrients, good multivitamin that's going to help fill in the gap with those micronutrients to help with the cellular health and help with the immune system. They talked a lot about turmeric and anti-inflammatory to help with that immune system also. I like those goals. So functional training, health, and then the aesthetics coming out after it. The last thing that Danie Craig really had there was he had a coach. He had somebody in his corner. So that way when you're going on a journey to make a transformation or to achieve a goal, you have somebody in your corner that can make those adjustments needed for you, to find the right place for you to start, to help you make those adjustments with your nutrition every single week. So that way you can produce the great outcome that they had there. Overall, really loved what their coach put out there. Amazing transformation to Danie Craig and his trainer, and I love the goals that they had set forth with it, which was functional fitness, which applies to many boomers out there, and then also longevity and health. All right, so that's what I just wanted to put out there today. Went and watched the movie last night. Absolutely loved it. And then I know this is going to be controversial. Everybody has their favorite. I did see a lot of movies with Sean Connery and was a big fan of Sean Connery. But I will have to say, Danie Craig is my favorite James Bond out of all of them because he symbolized that action. He had both sides. He had that side where he could throw down and get the enemy and make him pay for it. And then he had the other side where he showed that he had the human side of himself, where he had his friends and the people that he served in his life on his mission. So let me know in the comments below what your favorite training tip was and how you're going to apply that to your regimen. Also, let me know down below who your favorite James Bond was and what your favorite James Bond movie was. If you haven't been out yet to see the movie, go see it. Absolutely amazing film. You guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.